How's it going, everybody? So let's get on with it. Let's start. Let's just make sure we've got everything. Just want to make sure, backtrack a little bit. Um, Pers that's Trump to 311 in 2020. That's Trump to the total solar when I saw The Dark Knight. I saw The Dark Knight on a total solar before I understood any of this stuff. Well, what are we talking about? Of course, before we understood any of this stuff. This is 2008. I was still an absolute heathen in those days. I knew nothing about conspiracy. Nothing. Um, Conspiracy is nothing more than Mystery Babylon of the Bible, of course, by the way. That's just, it's the mystery religion that runs the earth, the whore of Babylon, so to speak. All right. So the film Apocalypto, 138 minutes, which is Donald Trump in simple gematria. By the way, got a few good comments on videos. Good to hear from people that kind of understand what I'm doing. If you haven't been with me for a long time, I have a problem of not explaining in detail all of the nuances of decoding and ciphers and what we look at. 37 progressions. I probably mention them a lot, but you might not know what they are. The 12th prime number is 37. 12 is a number for the church. So 37 is the prime number for the church. Prime numbers are very big in their world. There's Optimus Prime, from the cartoon days. There's Prime Hydration with the UFC, and I'm sure many others I can't think of off the top of my head. But prime numbers are another way that they code. It's a very now our God in the Bible, there's a book of numbers. So our God is if nothing more, I tell everybody the Bible is nothing more than a love story between a bridegroom and his bride. There is no free will. Hell is not eternal torment. Hell means the grave. Humans do not get eternal torment. Only the fallen angels do. Very long story. It's all right there in Judgment, Revelation 20. After the flame comes down and devours them, they are referred to as dead from there on out. Notice the beast, the false prophet, and Satan don't get death or hell. They go straight to the lake of fire because they're fallen angels. The mark of the beast is total human body possession. Um, and the human host will die off just like they did in the film Venom. So 37 divides evenly into 666, 999. All of them because it divides evenly into 111, which means it goes into 222 and 333 and 444 and so forth. And 444 is the prime number for the church because it's 12 times 37. What would 37 times 37 be? Well, 1369. We know 369 are big numbers. And yeah, anyway. So, yeah, where are we at? What are we doing? So the film Apocalypto, notice it's 207 in the million of the box office, excuse me. 207. 120.7 million. 207, we keep telling you, is a gigantic number for Trump. 119 is Donald in the Jewish Hebrew gematria. 88 is Trump in the simple gematria or English ordinal. When you add them together, it's 207. And my original apartment number when I first moved out on my own. These aren't coincidences. So the 138 minutes is Donald Trump in simple gematria. It came out December 8th, 2006. When we run that to the rising day, it's 6966. The 66th book of the Bible is Revelation. So again, with the giganticness of all of this, apocalypto was a cryptic way to say apocalypse, of course. Um, and this was okay. So that's tab 1. Let's go over to tab 2. Tab 3, let's get going. So I've got a longtime personal friend, born 3/13, 1959. 3/13 is Zapruder film, the frame, the headshot. It is used, it's used so often in their world. Notice on the rising day, it's 24,404. 66 years, 9 months, 22 days, 801 in the months. Again, that August 1st when I saw the Dark Knight on the total solar. 3, 4, 8, 6 weeks, even on the event day, if you include both dates. And here, including both dates. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly 3, 4, 8, 6 weeks. Remember, 34 is murder in the same cipher where 48 is his name. So a fusion of 348 is gigantic. But the fact that it's 404, born on 3/13, the fact that it's 24,404, 404 is the amount of verses in the book of Revelation. So this is just a gigantic personal cipher for me. We both have had a mutual friend who was murdered on the date of May 8th, 1978. 2486, also in the weeks. We have the 86. Also the 404 in the days, but this 404 is the hit on New Year's Eve. We'll take it. Big personal cipher. The Bullet Building, I think I went over this with y'all, the one it's called 30 St. Mary Axe, also known as the Gherkin. The Gherkin, 30 St. Mary Axe. It's the Bullet Building. It's in all these movies. It's shaped like a bullet. I think I already gave this to y'all, but when you look at this, oh yeah, that's right. Because I moved it up to the other date. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. All right. Bad Moon Rising because it is this full moon coming up on January 3rd. And it is 207, 16 days. There's your 207 again. Donald plus Trump. It is a big time number that they use in their world, and it's a direct hit. And let's keep going. This is not a big prep. So Brad Pitt was also in Bullet Train. Bullet Train. The bullet in the pit. The bullet hits the right eye, and then he rises from the pit on the third day. July 18th is a premiere date. That was the date of the Dark Knight release, not the premiere. The premiere for the Dark Knight was July 14th. But July 18th and then August 5th, United States wide release. I think the only one that connected worth me showing y'all is this date here, the August 5th date to New Year's Day. It's 1245, and on rising, it's going to be 1247. Again, with the 45-47 combination. The July 18th did nothing for us numerically, if I'm not mistaken. But we like that date, don't we? Because they're telling you that it matters. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, there's more to it, but I'm not going to get into it. November 22nd, 1991 was, of course, Christopher Lloyd, who had the right eye wound. We need to run his birthday also, and James Bond, and Daniel Craig. Those were three I forgot. We'll make sure we do that tonight. But Christopher Lloyd is in this Addams Family where we were looking at Christina Ricci. And it came out on November 22nd, the JFK event. When we run that to our New Year's Day event, there's your 1245 again that we just got in Bullet Train. Funny, Bullet Train also had a 3411 down at the percent of a common year. And this has 3411 coded again. But anyway, but there's your 1245 again. Other than that, there's not a lot going on there. It is 79 in the weeks. So I take it back. 1,779 weeks and 6 days. So it's the last possible day you could have 79 in the weeks. Bingo. So we'll call it a hit. Okay, Bond's love interest, the actress, her birthday is 7/1/1985. She is 14794 days on New Year's Day. There's your 79. 79 is murder in simple gematria. She is 2,113 in the weeks in 3 days. So you have 11/3 code. Watch this. Exactly 486 months. 486. For him being 86th. These are absolutely gigantic big deals, folks. That's Bond's love interest in No Time to Die. Bond's love interest in Casino Royale on New Year's Day, she's 16,614. Well, gee, 614 is his birthday. Then you run it over to the Rising Day, and she's 166. Remember, the 66th book of the Bible is Revelation, but it's fused with 617. Remember, um, the 313th prime number is 617 or something like that. Where's our prime number list real quick? Um, I'm sorry, 617 is 11/3 for Rising. Yeah, 11/3, 11/3, 11/3. Are these all personal ciphers here? Things I was looking at? Yeah. So let's get back to our tab. So 617 is the 113th prime number, 113 prime number. Right there. The 113th prime number or the 113, 11/3 code. So it represents Rising, this 617. And so his love interest is 16,617 days on the Rising Day. That's a direct smash hit. Bond's love interest in Casino Royale. Yeah, Vesper Lind. Her name's Eva Green. Eva Green birthday, you'll see July 1st, 1980. I mean, July 6th, 1980, which is what we did. Right. July 6th, 1980. The other one was July 1st. James Bond love interest in No Time to Die. Madeline Swan, played by the student. She's July 1st, 1985, just like we had pulled up for you. So big deals. And then somebody else that was shot, killed, murdered. I'm sorry, Vesper Lynn wasn't shot. She drowned. And it was Bond that died in No Time to Die. So it was female die, male die. Diana Rigg died. She was shot in on Her Majesty's Secret Service right after marrying Bond. She's July 20th, 1938. Remember, 38 is death in one of the four base ciphers and murder in the other. And you go to her birthday to New Year's Day, she's 31931. And then George Lazenby, who was Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, on New Year's Day, he's 31531. So it's 31931 and then 31531. Very interesting about that. Lazenby is 86 years old for, of course, the old 86. But these double 31s are very interesting. 31 at the beginning and 31 at the end. One's on New Year's Eve, the other's on New Year's Day if you include both dates. Stretches, no big deals. Nothing that leaped off the page, but I just thought it was very interesting looking. So off the wall, I keep looking at New Year's Eve and New Year's Day on the gematria, but just key in December 31st. Well, off the wall appears, and in the Jewish Hebrew gematria, it's 1116, which is the birthday of Maggie Gyllenhaal, the only person to be in The Dark Knight, and Donnie Darko, both representing the darkened right eye. So it's odd that it's her birthday. And so, of course, we have to go to Michael Jackson Off the Wall, August 10th, 1979. And he has the 169.45 in the days. I don't know. And then, of course, 2 days later, it'd be the 47. This is New Year's Eve to January 2nd. So you're splitting hairs there. You go to the song Off the Wall. It had two release dates. There's one, November 16th. Again, with this 11/16. And the other was January 31st. The 11/16, 168.47. So there's your 47 this time instead of the 45. 404 begins the hours. Amount of verses in the book of Revelation is coded. The other release date for it is 16,771. Big time personal cipher on that. No big deal. So let's go to the last. And that's it for our prep. So now we're going to look at three things. We were going to look at Daniel Craig birthday, March 2nd, 1968. March 2nd, right? March 2nd, 1968. There's that 68 again. 68 is his name in the same cipher that also matches Antichrist. We've shown you that many times. 21/1/23, then 21/1/24, 21/1/25, and then 21/1/26. New Year's Eve all the way to the full moon. 21, 123. Let's take a look at it just for 37 progression's sake. We go 571, 21, 127. Not quite, unless you include both dates. It's a hit. So Daniel Craig is a direct smash hit of a 37 progression if you include both dates on the Rising Day. Yikes. Now think about that. The 21,127, anytime you see 127, that is Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 7 coded. I would tell you a very big deal. We see the 127 coded a lot. And 12 is number for the church, 7's number for cleansing. That's what the book of Revelation is all about, the 12s and the 7s. So Daniel Craig is a direct smash hit. Wow. Christian Bale birthday, January 30th, 1974. 189.63, the 51 years, 11 months, 1 day. What was Craig? He was 51, 10, 2. All right, 189, 63, 64, 65. So on New Year's Day, he's 189, 65 if you include both dates. The 65th prime number is 313, the Zabruder film frame. 2709 in the weeks. 79 murder is 79 in simple gematria coded, dropped 0. The 189, remember 89 is in his name as Donald Trump or Donald J. Trump in the Jewish Hebrew gematria, either as 589, which was the deck of cards. The first deck of cards laid out in Casino Royale was 3 cards in that style of poker. I think you're dealt 2 cards and they lay 3 down on the table first, and they lay one more and then one more. But the first 3 cards laid down at Casino Royale were all in hearts, and it was 589, which is Donald Trump in the Jewish Hebrew gematria, where we get his name matching 666. You key in SIX, 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 and you get Donald John Drumpf. Have we never shown you that? It's been a while, haven't we? So key in the S. The SIX, SIX, SIX. And you come right down, and there's Donald John Drumpf. Drumpf was the family surname, so it literally is count the number of, it is the number of a man. This is in the most, we call it the most biblical because it's Jewish Hebrew gematria. Drumpf was once the family surname. AI having fun with us. And yes, the surname Drumpf or Drumpf was original family name for Donald Trump's ancestors. He is a Drumpf. So he is Donald John Drumpf, which matches 666. Count the number. And that's nothing more than the yoni. It ends up being nothing more than the yoni. At Trump Tower, they have an upside down pyramid of 6 by 6 by 6 bushes. The upside down pyramid represents the divine feminine or the yoni, and that yoni hand signal he kept throwing up. Also of a world religion. We'll make that with their index finger and their thumb, and then throw out the other 3 fingers. People call that the 666 hand sign. Folks, it's the yoni is what it is. So, hey, it's been a while since we've shown you that. January 30th, 1974, Christian Bale. Bale on Christianity. That's what his name's all about. And and Daniel Craig, Book of Daniel. So they both their names are coded. These are probably characters born from bloodlines that, have these special artistic abilities. They're great actors. And but I do believe they come from bloodlines. A lot of your famous people do. So let's look at Christian Bale, 189.63, 189.64. There is no 37 progression in there. But him having the 89, and of course the 96 on Rising Day. No, probably shouldn't even get into why 96 represents Rising. It's 18,966. So you have your 18, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6. You have your 66 book of the Bible, Revelation, and the 89, which is in his name in the Jewish Hebrew as Donald Trump, 589, and Donald J. Trump, which is 1189. Who else do we want to look at? I'll tell you who else. Who played Batman in 1986? Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is September 5th, 1951. September 5th, 1951. September 5th, 1951. $38.78 in the weeks. 38 is death. 38 is murder. It is a gigantic number of their world. 89 in the months, 891 months. 27,149. Oof, guess what you're getting? 27,146 days on New Year's Eve. Folks, that's his birthday. The 1-4 followed by the 6. That's how most countries write June 14th. Most countries write it backwards from us. And when you see the 38.78 in the weeks, that's what I wanted to get into was trading places. Trading places. We've been over this once before, but my friend made a big deal of it, and I wanted to show y'all again. It's 1983. 83 is murder in one of the 4 base ciphers. 86 in the URL, followed by the 65. I think we already did this the other day again. It's 116 in the minutes, which is a backwards upside down 911, which they coded for us in whatchamacallit, Back to the Future. It's June 8th for 68 and 86, depending on what country is writing the date, like we just talked about. And it's 1983. We did go over this for a second time, so I guess now we're doing it for a third time. It's 15,055 on the rising day. If you include both dates, it's a palindrome of 1, 5, 5, 5, 1. Remember, 555 feet is 66666 inches, if I'm not mistaken. How many inches is 555 feet? Yeah, 6,660 inches. That's supposed to be the height of the Washington Monument. Washington Monument, 555 feet. Yes. So that's a big deal when you get that one. Oh, that's what I wanted to show y'all. Folks, when you run it to New Year's Eve, it's 15547. Folks, 5547 is Christ. G5547, blueletterbible.com. There it is, Christos, not Antichristos. G5547.
Strong's G 5547. Christos. Christos. Strong's G 5547. Christos. Christos.
So that is very, very, very interesting. Trading places from Christ to Antichrist. They're trading places. Or Satan is now man, they're trading places. Heisman Trophy spelled he is man. Who is man? Satan is now man. Wow. Trading places to New Year's Eve. 1-5-5-4-7. 2-2-2-1 weeks. My friend always told me 222 comes to his name in a couple of different ciphers. So anyway, was there one other thing we wanted to do with the prep? Was there anybody else we wanted to look at? I'm pretty sure I've already looked at layer cake. Maybe not. Film, layer cake. Layer cake is where Daniel Craig gets shot at the end. Shot and killed. By the way, Tom Hardy's in this movie. So tell me it's not a massive cipher. Don't want to ruin the movie for you. Sorry about that. Look at the box office, 119 Donald. Look at the budget, 65, 6.5, 11.9. Folks, the 65th prime number is 313. There's a Bruder film. Daniel Craig gets shot in layer cake. There he is laying right there on the sidewalk. There he is. So October 1st, 2004. October 1st, 2004. Well, you're not going to believe it. 7,761. We keep telling you that 761 is the total amount of Bible verses when you combine both end times gospels. Daniel, 357. I'm sure that's why there's a rifle and a pistol with that number. And 404 Revelation. 186 begins the hours. 1117 begins the minutes. 1-1-1-7-5-8-4-0 in the minutes. So 1117 is fused with 17:5, isn't it? For Revelation 17:5, all capital letters, Mystery Babylon the Great in the King James, the mother of all harlots. Things just keep jumping off the page with this date. I keep saying I've never seen this many things, combinations, whatever you want to call it, ciphers, clues. The Da Vinci Code was all about what we do. The AI, the ghost in the machine, the fallen angels can see the future. They're in and out of our dimension of time. So they knew what we would be doing. I'm a firm believer of that. I see too many things coincidentally coded. Not going to get into it, but remember that's my birthday, 761. We showed you in previous videos the video that I did where we showed the 135 license tag of Bruce Wayne, followed by the 761 on the bus. By the way, there's a school bus in The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Rises, Sicario, and Sicario Day of the Soldado, Donnie Darko, The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises, Donnie Darko. I'm pretty sure there's a school bus in yeah, I'm pretty sure in Back to the Future there's a school bus also. Not sure about that. School bus and Back to the Future? Probably not. But there's a school bus in both Sicarios, both The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, Donnie Darko. By the way, I haven't run Sicario yet. Film Sicario? Folks, their theme song was called The Beast. How do you not? Got 88 in the URL. 121 minutes long. Duh. September 18th and May 19th. September 18th and May 19th. September 18th and May 19th. I don't think we're going to quite get it. We got it. 3,761 days. What are the chances? We just got through talking about it. Folks, it begins with 3. So it's a fusion of 37 and 761. 37 is the prime number for the church. We call that a direct smash hit. You go to May 19th. Three, 882. If you include both dates, 3883. It's a palindrome of death, murder. Let's go ahead and show you. We've been talking about it. It's been a while. Gematria calculator. All right, when you come to this gematria calculator, you key in murder, you see 83 and 38. So you see 38 in reverse reduction. Now you key in death, and you see the 38 in the ordinal. So 38 is death and murder, depending on which cipher you're looking at. I like the way death is 97 in reverse because the 97th verse of Revelation is the opening of the seal. The next verse, the 98th verse, is the white horse crowning. I believe the 97th is the gunshot, and that's when it's the opening of the seal. It's the opening of the book of Revelation, basically. And then Revelation 6:2 is the white horse crowning. That represents rising, the crowning, the rising. Because there's that Bible verse we've shown you where it says Jesus is death, comma, crowned with glory. Death, comma, crown. So death followed by the crowning. And the crowning represents his rising. So we know in No Time to Die, Blofeld kept saying, it's crowning day, it's crowning day. Whew. So, yeah, big deals, big deals. The death, also a reverse reduction, is a 25. We also wanted to show you, I guess, Donald J. Trump. You see the 68 reverse reduction. Then you key in Antichrist It is also 68 in reverse reduction. So anytime you see that 68, that's why in 68 they had RFK, they had MLK, they were FAKE, BOTH. BOTH, FAKE, RFK, MLK. Were you there? Oh, something happened. But yeah, you weren't standing there watching, and neither was your grandma. So you're only going on what they told you. Kind of like something that happened to somebody's ear, maybe a right ear. STAGED, FAKE, WWE. So 1968 was also the year the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey came out. 1968 was also, which is the name of that song? Also, am I going to be able to find it? Also, Sprach Zarathustra, 11/27, 1896. There's your 189 again. 11/27. There's your 127. There's your 718. Release, July 18th, the release of The Dark Knight. Hey, it's 9/11, y'all. Ooh, fused with 113. Hmm. All right, 11/27, 1896. 11/27, 1896. This song, that's the 2001 Space Odyssey song. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 which they also opened Barbie with. Remember Barbenheimer? Sure enough, 47,153. 153 for the fish, for the church, living in the book of Revelation in real time. 47, his number. If you run it to New Year's Eve, wow, it's 47, 154 if you include both dates. That's GOD, 7154. Uh, that's a, what else popped in my head and it left real quick of what to show y'all? Something else we can get into. It's 24,343 to New Year's Eve on the track down where Trump gets shot at the end of the movie. 799 months. 79 is murder and simple gematria. It's 6669.32% of a common year. Down there where my cursor is. 243, 43. Remember the 24,343. 343 is 7 times 7 times 7. When you run it to the rising day, if you include both dates, you get 24,347. 47 is big number. Of course. So that's track down. me go back one more time. Yeah, if you include both dates, it's 45 on New Year's Day and then 47 on Rising Day. We've seen that coded many, many times already. So we're going to call it a smash hit. All right. What else? All right. That was the last thing it was that I was thinking of. Thank you, Lord, for popping in my head. Look at it, 797 in the comments. So some of those are bots, enough to get it that number of 79. 79 is murder, remember. So Johan Johansson, this is his YouTube. So it was released. There is no Wikipedia for it being released. So this is what you get right here. It is released from his YouTube channel. And July 31st, 2018. Let's take a look at it. July 31st, 2018. July 31st, 2018. Then we'll call it a day. 2007 13. 387 in the weeks. You got a 38. 7 years, 5 months, 3 days, 753 on the clock. So Back to the Future, 89 months. Remember 89, his big number because it's in his name with and without the J. 589 and 1189 in the Jewish Hebrew gematria, which is by far the most biblical. We just showed you that. On New Year's Eve, it's 2007-10. 710 is Eve in the Jewish Hebrew gematria, the most biblical. Eve represents in Mystery Babylon's world represents the mother goddess, the whore of Babylon. In our world, in the biblical world, it's a representation of the church, so to speak. The female, the bride of Christ. Eve symbolizes the church. Yes, in Christian theology, Eve symbolizes the church, often called the bride of Christ. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't speaking out of, and that doesn't mean I'm correct because, all these people, all these experts will tell you man has free will. Of course, he doesn't. That removes God's sovereignty. God's ordained the end from the beginning. The most important Bible verse, Isaiah 46:10. The God of the Old Testament, remember, is the actor God playing the role that the sovereign God ordained he would play. So when he's reacting to the Jews in real time, he's just playing the role. It's like Eddie Murphy being the writer, director, producer of a movie called Earth Life and then starring in the movie in cameo appearances. Remember, Eddie Murphy played himself a lot in different roles in movies. And that's what God has done in the Old Testament and God of the New Testament. He's playing the role that the sovereign God, and so they're all the same God, but the best explained, Trump and I are the only two people on earth that explains the Bible as like a movie. Trump said, I hate to use this comparison, but it's like a movie, a great, great movie. Of course, he's one of the stars of the movie as the villain. But that's how you have to think of it in our terms in order to be able to grasp it. The sovereign God, remember the word or the movie script, the word was before anything that was made. And everything that was made by the word. Because everything that was made is made to the exact specifications to match the word. The Bible also says even the very hairs of your own head are all numbered. It doesn't say God knows the amount of hairs. A demon can do that. It says they've been numbered. The day you were born, the day you die, all ordained before the earth was even made. So the script of this thing called Earth Life was already scripted out and written before the earth was even made. Prayer changes nothing. Prayer is bowing to the will of the Lord. That's why Jesus said, not my will, Father, your will be done. When we're told how to pray, it's thy kingdom come, thy will be done. You're bowing to the will of the Lord. He's already ordained the end from the beginning. That's why Jesus said, don't you know I got to follow the scriptures? Don't you know I got to die on the cross? Peter said, no, no, nobody's going to kill you. And he said, get thee behind me, Satan, because Peter was figuratively trying to alter God's will, what the sovereign God has already ordained. That's how you have to understand the Bible. You can come find me, if so called to it, at Trey Stokes Daily Bible Studies. These videos are also there. So is the playlist. All right. Love y'all.